everyone and welcome to my channel. Welcome. If you're returning, thank you so much. My name is Laynie and I am so glad you are here. I have been doing some shopping, okay? I don't want to dive into it, but I have been shopping. Probably too much lately, but that's besides the point. I'm really excited to share today's video with you guys because I did a whole bunch of shopping over at Glowish, which is a brand by Huda Beauty. If you enjoy beauty content, fragrance content, and lifestyle content, make sure you click that subscribe button, join the fam, you will not regret it. Now, if you want to see me put on a full face of Glowish products, then just keep watching. So I have used a little bit of Huda Beauty products in the past. I had their little mini eyeshadow palette. I did really like it, but I haven't dove into much other than that. I mean, I've seen reviews, of course, it's all over the interweb, but I was perusing the internet, was looking for some glowy products, and started to see things mentioning Glowish. So I was like, I'm kind of curious. And then I heard about her new Glowish Blur Jam Primer. Then I got even more interested, so I was like, let me hop on over to the website. And they had a bundle deal where you got the Blur Jam, which is what I was really wanting to try, also the Glow Tint, the Glow Powder, the Glow Bronzer, and the Glow Blush for $106 shipped. And I was like, do I need to spend $100? No, but am I going to? Yes. So I decided to pick up the bundle. I will put the prices on the screen of each individual item for you, but let's start with the Glowish Blur Jam. And I did get a freebie, so comment below with I love freebies and your Instagram handle for USA residents only, and I will contact you via Instagram because I would love just to send this out to someone so somebody can try it. This really intrigued me because when I saw it on Huda's Instagram, she showed actually applying it over top of her products to blur and mattify. I personally felt like it was budging around some of my products, which I didn't love that. Like, it wasn't super noticeable to where I think someone would be like, oh, I can see you doing that. Like, you move stuff around, but I could tell because I was looking for it. So we are going to try this on one side of the face, under products, and on the other side of the face, over products. I did want to mention I really like the aesthetic of the Glowish products because the Glowish is supposed to be kind of that clean girl aesthetic. It does have that skincare infused benefits, and the packaging is this like kind of texturized paper that's got kind of like just a little bit almost like a tea stain look to it. I don't know, I just liked it. It gave it this very like kind of earthy vibe that I thought went with the whole Glowish aesthetic. And this little jar does come with a scoop. When I pulled it out, the scoop was just inside the box, so make sure you look for that if you pick up this product. But I have found the thing I like is, oops, the little scooper actually fits right in the lid, and I can put the actual lid on the top. So there are two lids here. There's an inner lid and an outer lid, and the spoon fits right under there. So I don't have to worry about losing the little spoon because if it don't fit, I'm gonna lose it. You know it. So I'm actually just gonna pull what's right on the top. And I don't go in with a ton of this. I kind of just hit the areas I struggle with, especially my large pores, which is definitely my cheek area and the little bit of the chin and a little on the nose. I definitely feel like I can tell it really does mattify. So this is supposed to mattify and smooth without having silicones. A lot of people have issues with silicone primers actually irritating their skin, making their pores even larger, which I struggle with large pores, so you know I don't want that. This side is definitely more matte. I didn't use a ton of product. I don't want it to feel heavy. Definitely more matte and slightly blurred. Like slightly blurred. It's not like amazingly blurred. I'm sure there are products out there that blur more, but again, this is silicone free, which is the benefit here. Here is the glow tint. I picked up the shade Fair Light, which honestly I could have gone lighter. It's not terrible, but even the Fair Light is a little bit dark for me. Now that I'm hitting fall, I am starting to lose a little bit of my summer color. Now this is a vegan skin tint, so there are supposed to be some skincare benefits in here. It has Damascus rose and red bell pepper extract. That's interesting. The rose oil soothes, clarifies, and locks in moisture. And the pepper is supposed to help against pollution, so that's pretty cool. Now there are only 15 shades of this, but again, I've mentioned this before with skin tints, in my opinion, you don't need a huge range because they are supposed to be stretchable. But I do find the shade range to be a little bit off because I picked up Fair Light and it's a little dark for me. I personally never apply a skin tint with a sponge because skin tints don't have a ton of coverage, and in my opinion a sponge is going to shear it out way too much. So as you can see, I do need to kind of pull this down the neck. I feel like it matches my arms well, but it is a little light for like my neck and my actual face skin. But I would actually prefer to kind of match it to my chest area because I try not to get too much sun on my face. It blends out really easily, like that was effortless. And I actually feel like the coverage is pretty dang good for a skin tint. I feel like this is actually more pigmented than I expected it to be. So I'm only going to put a little bit on my forehead. And I'm just going to blend it across the whole thing because I have no intention to put the Blur Jam on my forehead. Hello bangs. I don't really have to worry about how my forehead looks. Kind of the nice thing about having bangs. I am going to pull them back just so you can see that shine and reflection. So this is the bare face here. And there is a reflection in here, which is really pretty. I was a little nervous that it was going to look greasy, and I don't think it does. I like how it feels on the skin. It is tacky, but in a way that makes it feel like it's going to stay put. But it is tacky enough that I feel like personally you do need some type of powder over top. I don't like a tacky feel to my foundation. Like, it doesn't feel bad to my skin, but I don't want to touch my face and have a tack. That's just me and not a fan of that. I think it's beautiful. Like, there's such a radiance there. Oh my goodness, it's so radiant. I feel so youthful. I actually think this would be really beautiful for mature skin because I have found that it stays put really well. I'm going to buff some onto the other cheek real quick while I'm talking to you. I actually used this the other day as concealer because I just didn't feel like doing a whole face. I was like, I'm just going to put it under the eyes instead of going in with concealer. And it did not crease up on me. I was very impressed with that. So for my mature ladies out there, I actually think this would sit really well over fine lines and wrinkles. And that glow is going to give you the most youthful, radiant look ever. I think it would be really beautiful for mature skin. So I really did not need very much product at all. I do think this would be buildable, but in my opinion, if I'm reaching for a skin tint, it's, you know, I'm not wanting a full glam, like full beat face. I'm wanting a little bit of my skin, but better. I do think my pores look ever so better on this side with them primed. And I am going to pop that Blur Jam over top just so you can see. Again, it's not terrible on the application, but I do feel like you have to be careful when you apply it. So Huda showed applying it over top of her full face. I tried that and it was moving around my concealer. So I'm going to go in over top of just the base product, and I don't think I'll have a problem if I get some on my finger. But I'm going to apply my concealer after doing this step, because again, when I put my concealer on the other day, it definitely moved it around. I do feel like that mattified just a bit. I think the idea of being able to pop this on to mattify throughout the day is kind of nice. But I'm going to be real with you guys. I don't see myself popping this in my bag and like carrying it along with me. I also think that if you have your full face on, products are already going to be kind of separating throughout the day. And if I put this on over, especially since I'm a powder girl, I think it's just not going to play super well with products. If you were ultra careful and only patted so gently, you might get away with it, but I'm not a gentle person. I'm more of like, let's get it done and move on with my day. I got things to do. ignore the crazy bangs. We're gonna reach in with the other products. I picked this up in the shade 02 Medium. I just felt like in the swatches, the light one was gonna be too light for me because I also kind of like to use my bronzer as a bronzer slash contour. I very rarely reach for a contour now, so I kind of like to multitask with my bronzer and give me a little chisel and a little sun all at the same time. So this claims to have a 12-hour wear and a blurring velvet finish with a soft focus effect. I love all of that. It's also supposed to be buildable and light as air. I definitely get the vibe that all the Glowish products are just supposed to be like your skin but better with how they feel and how they apply. I personally have been loving applying my bronzer with a fan brush because it just hits the cheekbones so nicely. Real quick, I use just a little of my e.l.f. matte concealer under the eyes because your girl looks a little sleepy today. I am going to just brighten just barely because I just feel like since that skin tint is just a little tan for me, I want to kind of bring the center of my face forward, and then sometimes I forget that this concealer is so stinking pigmented. Like that was one little tiny dot. Now I'm going to use this amazing powder brush that is so soft and this powder and set that concealer. I do have some thoughts on this powder to share with you guys. I love this powder, but I don't love it with the skin tint. Let me explain. I love the powder because it's ultra light, like you don't feel like you're putting on a ton of powder. It's not heavy, it is certainly not cakey. It sets, you're not really going to get coverage from this, but I'm not expecting to. It's really more of a finishing powder. But I do feel like when I apply the Glowish powder with the Glowish skin tint, see now I'm more glowy than I want to be. I think this would be beautiful for matte foundations or things that lean a little bit more matte than they do glowy. The skin tint is so glowy, I feel like I would want to go in with a powder that is not glowy at all. This has upped my glow to a level where I'm just not 1000% comfortable with. I mean, it's not so bad that I'm gonna redo my face or anything like that, but would I choose to put these together when I'm not showing my fam here? No. She had a new blush color in Sassy Saffron. I couldn't resist. The name is so cute. Just like all the other products, there are supposed to be skin care ingredients in here, skin loving ingredients. Love that. Have no issue with that. I love this color. It's just peachy enough, but just different enough where I'm like, okay, I don't have anything quite like that in my collection, so I'm very glad I picked up this shade. One thing I can say about I cannot talk today. That's not new here. Hi, my name is Laynie, and I always get tongue-tied. One thing I can say about the powder products in the Glowish line is if you are someone who feels like you're not like a makeup expert, you're not super comfortable with makeup products, especially powders, you feel like you can get cakey too fast, you're heavy-handed, these, I mean, you can really go in, pick them up, and they don't get heavy at all on the skin, which is really nice. I like that fact. You kind of have to build them up a bit, and it's something about the texture of the powder and the way they're panned in there. They're like really pressed down to where they're not powdery, like even though they're a powder, they're not, you know, a lot of powder products when you go in, you can kind of see the particles float into the air. These don't do that. It's really interesting. The amount of glow in the blush, I'm really happy with. It's not overly glowy. Like putting that on over top, I don't feel like it looks like one of those blushes that you went in with a highlighter instead of a blush. It's just got a pretty glow. I'm going to finish up the mascara and the lips real fast, and I'll be right back for my final thoughts. 5 products, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 products plus a brush for $100. That's honestly pretty dang good when it comes to high-end makeup that you would find at Sephora. I actually am really impressed because I had kind of heard some mixed reviews on them. I like it, you guys. I really do like it. I have worn these all day. I feel like they stay put just as well as anything else that I wear. I mean, on a really long day, I'm gonna have a little patchiness, but I don't find that these really like separate. They don't get heavy looking, and honestly, my oils don't go crazy in these products, which is really nice, especially since they are so glowy. The only thing, like I said, is I just feel like this pushes me too much the glowy direction. So I'm going to show you, I just am going to pop on a little regular powder just to kind of give you the look of like if you don't want to go in with the Glowish powder. Like you don't have to be glowy with these. I really think it's the powder that just takes it up one notch too high. Because I love a glow. The older I get, the more I love a glow. Don't get it twisted. I love a good glow. It makes you look so youthful. But like, doesn't that little bit of mattifying powder I added, like doesn't that look just so much more natural and much more like, oh, she just has really beautiful glowing skin. Not like, oh, she went in with like a lot of glowy products. That's my thoughts, you guys. I'm actually very ultra impressed with these. Again, I think the e.l.f. mattifying concealer wears beautifully with them. Okay guys, this is the finished look. I hope you enjoyed hearing my thoughts on these Glowish products. If you have tried anything from this line, please let us know your thoughts down below. I know I personally love to always hear from you guys, and I know it helps so many others in our community, so definitely leave your thoughts down below. And as always, please try to stay positive, because at the end of the day, that is truly all we can try to do. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.